Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Newsbrowse News broadcast. According to a new report from Rentals.ca and UrbanNation, as reported by CBC News, the average asking rent across Canada in April 2026 was $2,027, representing a 4.7% decrease compared to April 2025. This marks the 19th consecutive year-over-year decline, bringing average rents back to the levels observed 3 years ago. While there was a slight month-over-month increase of 0.9% from March, average rents remained 21.9% higher than the pandemic-era low recorded in April 2021. UrbanNation President Sean Hildebrand noted that this improved affordability should encourage renters who were previously priced out to re-enter the market. Rent declines were most pronounced in British Columbia, which saw a 5.9% decrease, and Ontario with a 5.2% drop. Conversely, rents increased in Nova Scotia, Newfoundland, Saskatchewan, and Manitoba. The report also highlights a continuing trend towards smaller apartments, with the average available listing size shrinking to 827 square feet, 4.4% smaller than the average unit size 2 years prior. New figures from Saskatchewan's electrical utility, SaskPower, indicate that extending the operational life of the province's coal plants will cost approximately $26 billion over 25 years, according to a document leaked to the opposition NDP. This equates to about $1 billion annually, covering capital, operations, transmission, and fuel costs. The Canadian press reports that this plan is intended to bridge the period until Saskatchewan transitions to nuclear energy, with the province aiming to keep coal power until 2050 to ensure reliable and secure electricity. NDP leader Carla Beck has criticized this significant expenditure, calling it staggering. She argues that the Saskatchewan Party government could explore cheaper alternatives, such as building new natural gas plants or financing small nuclear reactors, for the same amount of investment. However, Jeremy Harrison, the minister responsible for SaskPower, maintains that extending the life of existing coal infrastructure is more cost-effective than constructing new gas facilities. Global News reports that the Nova Scotia long-term care workers represented by the Canadian Union of Public Employees, SUCAS, and government representatives are returning to the bargaining table on Thursday evening, May 7, 2026. This development follows a 4-week strike by approximately 3,000 workers from 30 long-term care homes, which began on April 13th after negotiations reached an impasse on March 24th. CUPE's Long-Term Care and Community Committee Chair, Krista Sweeney, stated earlier on Thursday that union members wished to return to work but could not accept the province's current offer, which included pay increases of 12 to 24% over 4 years. Sweeney emphasized that workers are being pushed out due to undervaluing their essential roles. Opposition leaders also expressed disappointment with the Tim Houston government's handling of the strike. Initially, Barbara Adams, the Minister for Seniors and Long-Term Care, indicated the province would only return to the table if CUPE members voted on the existing offer, but an agreement to resume bargaining was announced hours later. Halifax, Nova Scotia's Premier Tim Houston is attributing a significant revitalization in the province's offshore oil and gas exploration efforts to a change in federal leadership. Speaking on Thursday, Houston stated that under former Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, the province was effectively compelled to halt an offshore oil and gas exploration project a few years prior. However, with Mark Carney now serving as Prime Minister, Houston reports that the federal government is actively supporting Nova Scotia's initiatives to bolster its economy, including the resource development sector. This shift comes after a joint federal-provincial regulator recently approved a new $210 million exploration bid from Inceptio Oil and Gas Limited, the same company whose previous bid in 2023 was jointly vetoed. Premier Houston clarified that his government had agreed to the 2023 veto because Trudeau explicitly linked discussions on offshore wind development to the province abstaining from oil and gas exploration. He noted that the new political environment, with a new prime minister and energy minister, now permits them to pursue both offshore wind and oil and gas projects. This report is from the Canadian Press. Global news reports that fast food giant McDonald's is sounding the alarm over the severe impact of high gas prices and inflationary pressures, exacerbated by the war in Iran, on its low-income customers. CEO Chris Kempczynski stated that the macroeconomic environment is not improving and could worsen, noting that success is being measured by the company's ability to grow its share among low-income consumers and improve value and affordability scores. The company's U.S. same-store sales growth for the first quarter was 3.9%, falling short of analyst expectations of a 4.2% increase. In response, McDonald's has been emphasizing value meals, such as expanding its McValue platform in the U.S. with items under 3 ands, dollar beleading $. The CEO highlighted that higher beef prices are also causing some customers to switch to chicken options. These cost pressures are not only straining customers, but also impacting franchisee cash flow and margins at company-operated restaurants, leading McDonald's to review its franchisee network. Other restaurant chains, including Shake Shack, Papa John's, Wingstop, and Domino's, have similarly reported weaker quarterly sales growth. That's all for this video. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.